In the age of the Shattering, I summoned the Tarnished, those exiled scions of the Erd Tree, to bear witness to the tale etched in forgotten grace. I invoke the greater will, that fractured memory might stir within the roots of the crucible. I remember the fire giants, whose forges once roared in kinship with my own. I knew the fractured realms suspended upon the Erd Tree's gnarled limbs. Its roots crawled deep into the smothering depths. I recall the age of the primordial crucible, when the lands between were formless and seething masses of unclaimed potential. There was no Erd Tree then, no golden light, no sanctified soil, only the abyssal void, gaping and hungering. America's fractured lineage raised their hands to carve order from the chaos. They forged the Altus Plateau, the weeping Kaled, the Liurnian lakes. The sun, orphaned and wandering, cast its gaze upon the stones, and the first buds of the minor Erd Tree clawed towards the haze. The sun, twin to the pallid moon, spilled its light across the heavens, yet knew neither throne nor purpose. The stars, unbound by fate, drifted as exiles. Then the two fingers convened the celestial concord, the golden order's anarchists, and decreed the turning of the ages. They named the hours, dawn's gilded breath, the Signine dusk, the witching night. They shackled time itself within the Elden Ring's calcus. In the crucible of creation, the demigods gathered again, their ambitions a smoldering pyre. They sought to birth a new lineage, one to inherit the fractured earth from the ichor of the formless mother and the ash of the fell god. They wove their designs. Thus rose the Tarnished, Monsnir, first among them, his heart a forge of ambition, he who defied the Erd Tree's light, becoming the Lord of Blasphemy. Then came Durian, whose name echoes in the depths, he who carved kingdoms from the eternal dark. The demigods seeded the earth with mimicries of life, as Durian's prophecy foretold. Yet in those early days, the Tarnished were hollow vessels. They lacked the spark of grace, the fire of will, the warmth of purpose. Queen America, the Eternal, bestowed upon them shards of the Elden Ring. Radagon granted them resolve. Melina kindled their resolve, and Ronnie, the Witch of Frost, cloaked them in starlit ambition. But the Golden Order faltered. The demigods, drunk on their own divinity, waged war beneath the Earth Tree's pulse. Their clash birthed the shattering, and their land drowned in celestial fire. Among their forces was Golvae, the glow-dyed queen, she who sought to unmake the ring with gold flame. Thrice they smote her in the shadows of Lindel, yet her black flame endured, and the rot in the Order's heart. Golvague heresy seeped into the Tarnished, twisted their grace to greed, and the demigods reaped the whirlwind. In her despair shattered the Elden Ring, and the Erd tree's roots ran black with ichor. Thus began the Age of Discord, a maelstrom of demigods tarnished and those who lurked beyond the fall. At its heart wandered a lone tarnished, guarded by spectral grace, whose hands would mend the sunder the ring anew. The demigods, weary by the ceaseless war, convened one final council. They debated the tarnished's eradication, yet their tongues turned to venom. Each clutched their shards of the ring, and they scattered, their kingdoms crumbling in their wake. Malekith, the Black Blade, keeper of destined death, whispered of secrets, the horn of convergence, buried beneath the Erd tree's heart, where Merica first vowed yet pulsed. But he fell silent, his jaws were sealed by betrayal. Meanwhile, Merica sought the Dung Eater, that profane prophet who gnawed at the ring's cracks. She demanded the return of her stolen rune, the mending rune of the fell curse. The Dung Eater, ever mocking, hissed of deeper truths of the Lord unshackled by grace. Yet I recall the relics I once bore. There was a talisman of the two fingers, the wet blades of Numen. My incantations sundered mountains, my sorcery bent the stars. I walked among the demigods, and witnessed the finger maidens, weavers of destiny. I foresaw Godwyn the Golden, fairest of Merica's brood. I beheld the river of rot, its currents thick with decay, and the halls of Nokron and the Haling Tree were misbegotten. Yet I also saw the frenzied flames domain, where men writhed in golden fire, and the three fingers crawled at the world's seams. In the mountain tops of the fire giants, their fell god whispered of the forge's rebirth. Among them, Skull the Shadow, destined to devour the Erd tree's heart and crown the Lord of Chaos. I heard the elegy of the harpist in Lindel's ruins, and the shrieks of the death birds, harbingers of the eclipse. Malekith, ever watchful, hollowed within Farum Azula, and the rune of death's seal puts trembling. The end loomed, tarnished had turned on tarnished, and the Erd tree shuddered, its branches bleeding ember. The demigod's thrones crumbled, and the greater will's voice faded to the hollow hymn. Merica's vessel had shattered, her ember egg was no more. And finally, from the Erd tree, the Elden beast rose, the Leviathan of fractured gold. He who will put an end to this world of absolute chaos. And the story ended there. One god at a time fell, pierced through the heart by their own ambition, and the sword of grace that was held by the Elden beast